Hi there mate, and welcome aboard. Stu Black here, HomeStudioBasics.com, and before we get into the Samson SR850 review, grab a snack, sit back and relax because you've come to the right place. As always, first we'll talk about specifications. This is a semi-open headphone with a circumaural fit, an impedance of 32 ohms, a frequency response of 10 Hz to 30,000 Hz, efficiency of 98 decibels. It's dynamic with a driver size of 50 millimeters. Cable is straight. Cable length is 8.3 feet, and it terminates in a 3.5 millimeter jack and comes with a 1/4-inch adapter. So let's get into build. The build of the SR850 it's about like a K240. I've been meaning to review this headphone for quite a while now. I had the K240 for quite some time, and then I sold it. I wish I had kept it so I could maybe compare this to that. I would say the treble on the 850 is definitely brighter, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Build quality it feels like a toy, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, the K240 feels, and this feels like something you would find in your local Walmart, like in the toy section. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's really gonna break. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it's very minimalist in design. You got the hammock style adjustment here, which is showing its age a little bit, but it's self-adjusting like the 240. This is basically a knockoff of the 240. I don't know what these are made of, but you got this very flimsy, thin headband. But these are so light that you don't really need any padding for the headband. They sit on your head quite nicely, actually. I enjoy the fit of these. The cups, I guess they kind of move. This whole headphone is it's flimsy, but it does feel cheap. But it is cheap. I mean, it's like a $30 headphone. So Marco was saying how he wanted more budget stuff. So how's this for budget, boy? I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood, man. Yeah, the cable is not detachable, and like I said, it's very long. But it makes it good if you want to plug into an amp for gaming. You can sit farther away. I find that a lot of my headphones don't work if I have an amp because the cables are just too short. But yeah, this is a great gaming headphone, and we'll get into that as well. So overall build, I mean, I don't know, like, I could drop it real quick, see. It doesn't feel like, none of the parts on it feel like they're gonna just break, but at the same time it just feels cheap. Like, it's really plasticky and not really creaky, but definitely plasticky. The padding is velour, which is nice, but the ear cups themselves aren't very deep, so your ear's gonna be touching the driver. There's a thin piece of, I don't know, cloth covering the driver, but you'll definitely feel your ear hitting inside of there, it can get kind of uncomfortable. So let's get into that. Build overall, I mean, I can't give it an A or A minus. I can't even give it, I'd have to give it like, I don't know. These have held up really well. I don't really use them as much as other headphones, but I don't know. I'd give it a B, maybe a B minus. But at the same time, I kind of want to give it a higher score because they seem like they'll hold up despite being so lightweight. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, comfort. Comfort is fairly good, but like I said, your ears are gonna be touching the inside of the drivers, and after a while, this will dig into your ears a bit. Clamp force is really good actually, and the top is not intruding onto your head, so it's a nice comfy fit. But this is the only problem, is the ear cups start to dig into your ears after a while, and you'll have to take them off and adjust them. So comfort, a B. Because I noticed that when I'm gaming with these, I have to adjust them more often than I would like, so I'd probably end up giving these a B minus. You'll make a slight adjustment, and then you'll go back to gaming for a while. About 45 minutes to an hour, you'll really start to notice them right here, not up here at all. Yeah, how do they sound? A lot of bass roll off, great mid-range. Very airy and open. These are semi-open headphones, so they're not completely open. Treble is really, really bright. And I noticed this especially out of an amp. They don't really need any power, so It's kind of overkill if you plug these into an amp, but when I was gaming with them, I was using the Audio Engine D1. They sound really, really good, but you're not going to be turning the volume up like hardly at all, or else you're in for a world of pain, like Smokey from Big Lebowski.
Yes, movie reference.
Smokey, my friend, you're entering a world of pain.
Walter, man.
You mark that frame and 8, you're entering a world of pain.
I'm not.
A world of pain.
I can't wait. Treble, I mean, it's really peaky and it can get shrill, but at the same time, these are really open and spacious, and they have a fantastic soundstage. Perfect gaming headphone. Like, if you were just to plug these straight into your controller, I think it would be a match made in heaven. With an amp, it's not really necessary. You don't really need an amp for these. Sound good out of your phone. They're only 32 ohms and pretty efficient. I mean, well, what was it, 98 decibels? Yeah, don't go overboard with an amp. The mid-range, very good. There's a lot of presence here. There's a lot of good separation and space between instruments. Great intimacy. Things seem to have more character. You're able to get a sense of how the artist intended the song to sound. And this is fairly astounding when you consider these are so cheap. They range anywhere from $30 to $50. Instruments and stuff, they just feel more complete, more present. They have room to breathe. This is your basic rolled off bass, fairly flat mids, and a bright treble. I mean, it's sort of like the open back version of the V6, but the V6 will sound fuller because it's closed. I would say the bass on these is a little bit less anemic than the K240. The K240 barely has any, but I think the SR850 has a little bit more. The K240 also has a somewhat darker treble, and that's another main difference between this headphone and that one. Imaging, like I talked about, imaging is incredible with these. Perfect gaming headphone, like I said. I was playing Fallout the other night with these. Everything kind of opened up. These are a lot better than a SHP 9500 for gaming, but I think the SHP 9500 is a really great gaming headphone, but I think this one does it a little bit better. You're able to hear more. Sounds kind of take on a lifelike character. In particular, I was just roaming around the Fallout world or whatever, and I heard this sound. It sounded so real, like it was behind me, that my heart skipped a beat. Like I thought that something was going on outside. Like literally, I couldn't discern whether the sound was truly coming from the game or outside, which I thought was incredible. And I've played the game quite a bit now, and I've probably heard that same sound many different times, but this time it was like, you know that feeling you get when you see a girl that you really, really like and like you really care about, and your heart like skips a beat or it drops into your stomach. That was the feeling I got. And I mean, I ripped the headphones off like and was looking around panicking because I thought that something was going on. Like the apocalypse was taking place or something. The zombie apocalypse. It was one of those sounds that just, it mimicked real life to a startling degree. So imaging, gaming, whew, perfect. For music as well, everything just has there's nice width to the image. As far as amplification, you're not going to need any. You could, go for a cheaper amp DAC to start, but these are going to sound fine out of a phone. But I want to recommend amp DACs to everybody because it's just a great starting point to get your feet wet, and you're going to need one down the road, especially if you plan to upgrade. This is a great headphone, but you might have to EQ down the treble a bit, and you're definitely going to upgrade and add headphones to your collection. It's not like an end game at all, but at the same time, this thing is like incredible in how it portrays music. Genre pairing, I would say, they're going to have a little more trouble with rap and hip hop, but they still work. Like, I'm of the opinion that a lot of the headphones that people say don't work for specific genres actually do. It's just depending on your personal taste and how much bass you really want. I used to be a bass head. Nowadays, I prefer my bass to be textured and nuanced. I don't like all that slam that I used to, like from a headphone like the 50X, even though I really like the 50s a lot and still do. I mean, it's a great headphone for what it is. As far as this one goes, I mean, I would say they work well for most genres. rock, classic rock, they'll do really well for. Metal, but I would say they might be a little bit too anemic for something like metal. I don't know. I think rock and metal needs a little bit more bass than these provide, but at the same time, you're going to hear a lot of stuff going on. A lot of the finer details, I would say. So, what's my final grade for the SR850? Probably an A- B+. I mean, comfort and build are both in the B-ish range, while imaging is an A+, and sound would be a B+, A-. The treble can get really peaky. The bass might be problematic for some, but I kind of like it. Mid-range is very, very good. Yeah, not a perfect headphone, but for the money, it's an incredible value. And these work insanely good for gaming, to the point of me like flipping my shit, man. Hearing all that weird stuff going on. It's like everything just breathes more than your typical headphone. And that's something that I was really impressed by. There's a great sense of detail and accuracy, I would say. Everything's just more open, and it's pretty cool considering these aren't really fully open. Yep, that's about it for today, folks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my growing channel. And with that,
Check 1, 2. I hope you enjoyed this review too. It was brought to you by Stu. Who? Me, the lyrical G. Empirical dreams slide through like green. PC gaming, letting off steam. Got bars for days like a prison inmate. A misdemeanor's fate, no debate when I wake up. Okay, start my day with a cup and I pray I don't faint. I'm a saint of the Most High God. Of the Most High God.